All right, we are answering some fan comments, hate mail, whatnot, over the last, couple months. So I picked a few, totally random.
Messages? We get like 80,000 messages a month, something like that.
No,
right?
maybe.
I don't know. It's like I'm
at least 500 a month.
Yeah.
500 comments a month. I try, TJ and I try very hard to respond to as many as we can. So some of the funny ones or notable ones, I just ran through quick, so we're just going to...
Jim is better at addressing the YouTube comments. I'm better at addressing the Facebook stuff, but...
yeah, you're better at the social media.
He pretty much pays attention to all this stuff way more than I do, though.
Are you on the Atheist Edge Twitter account, too? Or just the Facebook?
I think so. No, I don't think I'm linked
We don't
to
get a lot
Twitter. I don't... Man, Twitter, dude, that shit gives me cancer, dude. Fucking my eyeballs just like glaze over when I get on Twitter, dude.
It's bad. I made the comment. It was in a joke context. I don't know. Were you following it?
I don't know, man. Maybe just refresh my memory.
I made a joke of comparing someone who goes to church, and that's what I put. But what I meant was someone who actually prays and receives audible answers, right?
Yeah.
I compared that to schizophrenia. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Fucking everyone came out of the woodwork. The recreational outrage brigade wanted to just light me up. And then, since then I've been very extra hyper aware of any time someone on Twitter compares a mental illness to being religious. And it happens all the time. It's just they decided to fuck with me.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing it. People say, oh God, Christianity is crazy, or I hear crazy, insane all the time.
Well,
no one calls them out.
I know that, but you got to think about it though, dude. Like, say if it was like your mom or your dad standing there, right? Like, and you were talking about some religious stuff, and you just like somebody came up to them and said, "Oh, you're talking about religious stuff? Only crazy people and people who are fucking, mentally ill." Believe in that shit with your parents standing right there talking to you about it.
Well, I didn't say exactly that.
Like, think about like it being directed specifically towards a person that you know, and think about how saying that might like be a little bit of a problem for people that are looking at that and say, hey, yeah, I can understand. And like saying that is some people would take that as an attack on their identity.
I said. I was too general in when I first worded it. So they would not, even after I clarified and said, no, I'm not talking about just all people that go to church. No. I'm only talking about people that pray to God and receive an audible answer. Didn't matter. They were still coming at me. They chasing me through the woods with pitchforks.
I would say that's probably a reasonable conclusion to make then, because I think most people would not necessarily describe their relationship, their walk and their talk with the Lord to be an audibly heard thing. They would say, I have impressions that seem like guidance to me in my life, and I have these feelings that some kind of force is guiding me. They never most normal people won't tell you, yeah, I talk and he talks back and we have a fucking conversation.
Really? You would say most?
I'd say most don't think
most
like
don't.
that.
All right.
I don't think that that's prevalent.
I would disagree with that, but I only have anecdotal individual testimonies so I have no real data. But I would guess that a higher percentage than you think of Christians have at least once received audible
I'm sure it's
feedback.
Significant. Yeah, there's a lot of them that are like, I heard the Lord when I was 16 years old and I got saved. And
my friend down in a couple cities away, he's a pastor friend of mine.
Gotta get my drink on.
He's a pastor friend of mine. He said that he's received, God has spoken back, replied to him audibly twice. One in the shower to let him know that a friend of his was pregnant, and then one right after he woke up to let him know that to answer the phone next time it rings, because it's going to be
Okay.
It's going to be a call to California to give a speaking tour.
So the thing that you say to the person that tells you that is, okay, so is this a normal thing that occurs to you? Do you often hear disembodied voices speaking to you audibly in your head with no one around?
Cool.
Now, hold on, just listen to me. Let me develop this whole thing. So you ask them that, and if they would say, no, normally I don't, no, it's just I heard God, and I'm not crazy, I don't hear voices in my head and shit. And then you would say, well, you did this time. right? So wouldn't you think, like, wouldn't your natural instinct, your natural, like, deductive reasoning tell you, hey, hearing a voice, am I crazy or is this really happening? And if you're telling me that you're not fucking questioning that and saying, I may need to make sure that that's an actual voice talking to me and not just my imagination or me going crazy or something like that, and you don't go through those steps in your head, I think you're just wanting to believe whatever it is you want to believe, and I wouldn't take a person like that tells me an anecdote like that seriously.
We're a little bit in the weeds right now.
You know what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying, but I think we're kind of in the weeds right now. What started all this was a joke where I compared someone who talks to God audibly and receives answers and a schizophrenic. And that's when I got lit up. That's when 3 major YouTubers, atheist YouTubers, came at me with pitchforks.
They're atheists? That's funny.
3 atheist YouTubers came at me with pitchforks and torches. I don't care. I'm a big boy. I can handle myself. And I tried to explain myself the best I could. If you don't want to listen to my explanation for, the
nuance that was behind the statement?
My clarification, then fuck you. I don't care. But what struck me was, then I started, just since then, it's been less than a month. Now I'm looking at all these tweets that other people put out comparing to religion to being crazy or insanity.
You can find it all over the place.
And no one's saying
they took this opportunity to try to fucking skewer you.
No one bats an eyelash. But it's like they got crosshairs on me. Maybe because, I don't know, maybe some extraneous reason. Anyway, fuck it.
Yeah.
Okay, here's some mail. It'll be up on the...
That's pretty, to me, that's just pretty very hypocritical.
Yeah. So this, the first person posts, they were born with hearing loss in both ears. Doctors discovered this in 1976. I was so blessed. I think he's being sarcastic. I think this is an atheist.
Okay.
He's blessed with 16 operations and also blessed with a loving community that prayed. Hundreds of them prayed, in fact. I was told at that age, if I followed God, I would get healed. Guess what? I did for over 35 years, and guess what? He hasn't. Oh, wait. He did pray for 35 years, and his
guess
ears...
what? He hasn't.
And he hasn't answered my prayers still. So 35 years later, and he still doesn't answer my prayers, so... And
now he's saying prayers don't work.
Prayer doesn't work, and now I say there is no God. And so here's the reply.
Okay.
From Ohio Buckeye.
All right.
Then you listen to the wrong people. God doesn't promise those who place their faith in Christ wealth, health, and a life free of inconveniences or hardships. In fact, he makes it clear that you will face ridicule, and persecution. In general, you will also get sick, experience poverty. The stuff you heard on TV or in person is not something God promised. What God does promise and delivers is forgiveness to the individual who places their faith in Christ. Okay, if a person goes into this with their selfish ambition,
thinking that God is the divine
basically, God never promised you a rose garden, even though Chris, help us out.
So you
don't know the verse, but I know there's somewhere in the Bible that says if 2 or more people get together and agree on something and pray, that it shall be damn done, right?
If you pray in earnest in my name, I have
there
to.
It is.
I have to grant it, is what he says, or something like that.
There is a verse that says whenever 2 or more people are gathered in my name. Well,
that's the church. Like that's the church. I am there also. That's the church thing.
If you're sick, gather the elders and have them pray over you.
Well, I could have sworn though that there's one that's like if you pray earnestly in my name and you beseech me earnestly or something like that, I have to do what you ask me or something like that.
Well, there are simultaneous verses that promise healing and also verses that promise hardship.
Right, or that say
Whichever, either you get better.
There's ones that say I'll grant your prayers, and there's other ones that say I don't have to grant your prayers. Basically, is what
Is it like faith of a mustard seed? If you pray hard enough, you can move mountains, something like that too, right?
But that's a metaphor.
That's metaphorical or something,
It's
probably.
not a metaphor for healing.
So,
Definitely not that.
So this person is saying, and tell me if this is, I don't know, scripturally correct.
Can you move your nose?
Okay, so just to make sure that this person is Is this person?
Well, you want to go?
is-
He gave us a pretty good way to bullet point address each thing he said. You want to just go down the list and just say what your objection to each thing he said?
Would you say this person is scripturally correct in saying that God doesn't promise you a rose garden? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you pray for. God may or may not give it to you. Really, having faith is all you can, and expect hardships. That's basically what it's saying, right?
He tells you to take no thought for the morrow. So yeah, he definitely doesn't promise you that here on earth that you're going to get anything in the way of rewards. But he does say that, hey, if you tell Jesus that he's your Lord and all that, you get something later.
Yeah,
he promises you things later. It's always later is when you get these things that he promises.
Act now, and
Yeah.
Paul, where Paul talks about he has this quote unquote thorn in the flesh that he prayed over and over and again for it to be taken away, but God hasn't taken it away from him.
Right, but God would someday, right?
Yeah, but he looks at it as he puts a positive spin on it, and maybe that's what this commenter is trying to get into here.
Could be.
Because-
I could go through I wanted to go through each one because he kind of put a space in each one. I mean,
that's the gist. I don't want to belabor that one.
you didn't want to go point by point and just say one sentence or something.
Okay. NIFB Jesus. Oh, this is a good chance to thank him again very much for another huge super chat. I don't know if you're aware, but NIFB Jesus, he's a super fan. He's always watching our shit.
Hell yeah.
And he gave another $20 super chat just on one of the premieres not too long ago. So thanks, NIFB Jesus.
Sweet. Money.
It sounds like a Christian channel, but apparently not. NIFB, I think he's making fun of those NIFB people, yeah. Which we still need to do that too, because there's 3 NIFB churches here in Dallas-Fort Worth, and that one Steadfast Baptist, people go on, every Sunday there's protesters out there. We need to join that. Every once in a while get some footage and support that too. They're the ones that want gays exterminated.
Yes.
You know about that Steadfast Baptist?
After the shooting in Florida, where something like 51 people were
The Pulse
killed,
nightclub?
So
Okay, anyway, so NIFB Jesus says atheism isn't a religion. Then apparently he asks him earlier on, which God do you want me to believe in, and why should I believe you that that's the correct God? And Bob Smith says, I just wanted to say, even if I believe all you guys are brainless, delusional, I still respect you and think you're all so cute when you're pretending to form thoughts of your own. Gosh, I feel like a kid in a candy store. I can hardly contain myself. Let me tell you about Bob Smith.
Okay.
And this was just one of many, many, many examples. Dripping with condescension. I've never seen anyone think so highly of himself and so low of atheist that he thinks he's just going to... I love when they come in and they think they can just... he's
being facetious.
He thinks he
He's
can
being
just walk
facetious.
into a channel and destroy every argument.
It's just pathetic. I don't give those people any real thought or anything, because it just, all I see is every sentence I'm like, okay, another sentence where he didn't address the fucking argument, another sentence where he didn't address the argument, another sentence where he didn't address poo-poo head, duty, nana, nana, boo-boo, okay, gotcha. And that's the extent of your fucking thought on the matter. Okay, cool. I don't really care much about that, but awesome that you commented. Cool.
But so finally, what's one of our commandments? Don't respond to trolls, right?
Yeah, that's why I don't pay attention to
but
people that
I
do that
finally
shit.
broke the silence after all the condescending, just dripping with sarcasm.
Yeah.
I finally broke the silence and said, "Hey, Bob Smith, would you like to be a guest on our show?"
They never want to do that shit, though, do they?
I have found in almost 3 years of doing this, that is the best way to shut those types
We've
up.
only really had one that ever braved
us
the
up on
show.
it. Jungle Jargon.
He
And
was
hats off to
brave,
Jungle Jargon for doing it.
and he kind of won, not because he was right, not because he ended up being right about what he was arguing, but because he definitely got me upset with him a couple different times.
Yep.
And I was pretty hard on him,
And that's
so
one
he
of-
kind of come away from it like, oh look, I'm the nice one, I'm the more reasonable one.
He got you.
Yeah, and he got me.
But that's one of
So-
our commandments also. Think with your
Yeah.
head instead of your heart.
And Jason was there too, though, and Jason didn't help either because whenever me and Jason get together on a fucking,
He got a little
broadcast,
emotional, too.
Like he kind of.
I was trying to
we
keep
egg
the
each other
peace.
on, kind of.
I was trying to keep the peace. But yeah, and so what do you think Bob Smith's reaction to me inviting him on the show was?
Yeah.
Any
silence,
guesses?
Silence.
Fucking tumbleweeds and crickets. And then I asked him again. Then he starts talking to NIFB Jesus again. And I was like, whoa, wait. You didn't answer my question. So I kept kind of pestering him a little. And then finally he just...
With razor sharp wit, curiosity, and critical thought, we take an unblinking look at today's religions. We are Atheist Edge.